What's going on, guys? We have a Zach LaVine update for you guys in just a second. But if you are done with this era of Chicago Bulls basketball, go drop a like on today's video. I want to see how fed up and how truly pissed off this fan base is. So hit that thumbs up icon and let's dive into the Zach LaVine update right now. So is a Zach LaVine trade coming soon? We got an interesting report from a Chicago Bulls insider that could indicate that maybe the Bulls' top priority is actually trading LaVine in comparison to other pieces like DeRozan, Vooch, and Caruso, who we've all heard rumors around those guys as well. But my name is Patrick Siepman. Welcome into the Bulls Report, and let's kick it to K.C. Johnson right away as he had pretty much a bombshell report, I would say, around kind of how the Bulls stand with this current situation. He said trading LaVine is the main organizational focal point for now. So trading LaVine is the main focal point for now. In fact, league sources said that at least for now, Arturas Karnisovas is responding to inquiries on other players by saying he wants to see what the roster looks like post-LaVine trade first. And that was very interesting, and just overall, this front office is definitely something, huh? They always keep us on our toes. We really, truly never know what direction they are going to go in, but that first point about how trading LaVine is their main focal point as of right now, and then they want to see how the Bulls kind of pan out and how the roster looks without him. The thing is, before the season even started, I was in the camp where it was like, if we were going to have a fire sale, I would trade everybody else before Zach LaVine. Turns out the Bulls want to go the complete opposite route. They want to trade LaVine and see what the roster looks like after that. But the question becomes, like, if that is your kind of stance on the whole situation and that is what you want to do, can the Bulls retool this roster after trading LaVine and actually compete in the East? My short answer to that would be absolutely not, because you think about it. The Bulls don't even have a guy close to a number one on a championship team. And the closest guy they do have is number 8 right there. So you really think DeMar, Vooch, and I don't know who they would possibly bring in would have the Bulls able to compete in the Eastern Conference? Like, listen, it kind of gets to this point. Like, if you do trade LaVine, trade everybody. Like, I don't see any point of hanging on to this current group if you are going to move off LaVine. Like, I don't see any reason to hang on to guys like DeRozan, Vooch, Caruso, all these guys, like even Torrey Craig at this point. Like, what would be the reason to hang on to these guys? Because if you do retool, and let's just say you get a first and a player for LaVine, and like you think you can kind of rebuild this roster around like the other 4 guys on screen, like I just don't think it's likely at all, and I just think it would be an absolute bonehead decision. This is just one of those situations. You just got to rip this Band-Aid off. I know it's going to hurt. I know you're going to suck for a couple years, but I do think it's the best move for the Bulls because, listen, the Bulls are incredibly far away from winning an NBA championship. There is no singular move, or there's honestly not a couple moves just based off this roster that the Bulls can make to have them compete for NBA championships. It's just incredibly unlikely, and that's what's so frustrating about this whole thing, where it's like the Bulls, what was their word all offseason? Continuity, and continuity. Well, right now the Bulls are 5-14, one of the worst offenses, one of the worst defenses in the league, and they've just been a straight-up joke in the NBA. So if they think that maybe moving LaVine and kind of sandpapering the rest of this roster could potentially get them close to the top of the Eastern Conference, you are just wrong. And also, the Bulls, if you are going to retool and rebuild this a little bit, it's a pretty good time. You have Giannis and Dame, Tatum and Brown with the Celtics. Like the Bucks, the C's, and the Sixers, those top dogs, even the Heat still, like, they're not going anywhere. Like, you have a chance to lose a lot of games, like you already are. Just lose a lot of games, rebuild this roster, get draft picks, get young players, just get a fresh start. Because I'm really getting sick of the Bulls, like, trying to just, like, I don't know, just trying to retool this. It just really boggles my mind a little bit. But, hey, with the trade deadline coming up here in a little bit, what Bulls player do you think is most likely to be dealt? I still think it's Zach LaVine, obviously with the reports we've been all hearing, but, it could be another guy. Maybe you think it's Caruso, DeRozan, or whoever it may be. Let me know what player you think the Bulls are for sure going to move off of. But like I said, I think it is going to be LaVine. I think the team that makes the most sense for Zach LaVine as it stands right now is the Los Angeles Lakers. And we've heard multiple insiders connect the Bulls and LaVine to the Lakers. And it's actually Jovan Buha. He actually works for The Athletic. He said this about the recent Zach LaVine trade rumors. He said, in conversations I've had in recent weeks, regarding the Bulls. There is real interest in Zach LaVine from the Lakers side of things. But I think it comes at the right price. I've actually heard they're more interested in DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. That's also very interesting. And we got this other report that the Bulls possibly want Rui and Austin Reeves. So my head started to turn a little bit. I started thinking, well, how could the Bulls make that work? Because obviously the Lakers love LaVine. What if you go a little LaVine Caruso for Rui Reeves and a first? Who says no in that situation? I still probably think the Lakers. Because listen, this guy Austin Reeves, he's an absolute stud, man. Listen, he's averaging 17 points a game during the playoffs last season. That's when we really saw him, come onto the stage, and he was a true third option for the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, funny enough, like the two went undrafted, and he was a third option next to LeBron and AD throughout the whole playoff run last season. I mean, the efficiency is ridiculous. Shooting 45% from downtown in 16 playoff games. It already is hard enough to shoot the ball in the playoffs from deep, and Reeves did it at an incredible level. So, listen, my take, though, I don't think the Lakers would move Reeves. I think he is a foundational piece, mainly because who is Austin Reeves' biggest fan? It's LeBron James. LeBron is not going to want the Lakers to move off him. So I don't think the Lakers are moving Reeves. I understand why the Bulls would want him, but even Reeves for LaVine straight up. I would be very curious to see what Rob Pelinka would say. If that's actually what a offer the Bulls can make, obviously, got to make contracts work and all that. But if they actually sent over LaVine for Reeves, I'm curious to see if Pelinka, would say yes. But coming up here, I'll kind of further my thoughts on the DeMar DeRozan interest from the Los Angeles Lakers. But first, hey, I got to give a huge shout out to PrizePicks. If you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you guys will get a first deposit match up to $100. It's daily fantasy made easy. All you do is pick two or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat types, and you guys can start winning some serious cash today. I love using it. It makes some boring games even a little bit more entertaining. And I actually made a lineup for the Thursday night football game tonight. Here it is. I took less than Geno Smith passing yards, more than CeeDee Lamb receiving yards. I went with Tony Pollard as well, taking more for his rushing yards. Then also more on Jason Myers, making hitting 1.5 more field goals tomorrow. So if you guys want to ride with that lineup or fade that lineup, make sure you guys do it at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Make sure you guys get hooked up today. The link for that will be in the comment section and description of today's show. So Jovan Buha from The Athletic reported this also around DeMar DeRozan. Just talking about the recent trade rumors. He says DeMar is someone that the Lakers have courted for several years now, dating back to originally in Toronto and then San Antonio and now in Chicago. He's the over-the-top shot maker that the team seemingly doesn't really have outside of LeBron's jumper when it is falling. And my first reaction to this was, I would love this for DeMar DeRozan. Obviously with the whole situation with the Bulls, like the Bulls are a very, tough team to root for right now, but DeMar DeRozan's the guy I'll always root for. Like LaVine's kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but DeMar, I'll always root for DeMar. Like I really do believe in just his game and just him as a person. Like if he could go back to his hometown, he grew up in Compton, and he could go play with LeBron and Anthony Davis and really have a true chance to compete for an NBA championship, I'd want that in a heartbeat. Just man to man, person to person. That's what I would want for him, and I think it would make sense from the Lakers side of things. I mean, they do need an over-the-top shot maker, and obviously when you do have Bron and AD, your kind of natural identity is on the defensive side of the floor. It is more of that playmaking kind of archetype type of player. Where DeMar, he can still get it done. He is a little older, but he is on an expiring deal, so I can see the Lakers definitely taking a chance on him. So I hope that works out for DeMar, but I just have a feeling the Bulls and Lakers, they're probably going to make a trade in the near future. But if you guys watched the entirety of today's video, shout out to you guys. You guys are definitely a real one. Hey, if you are a real one and you did watch all the way through, type real one down in the comment section so I know who the real ones are. And as always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.